usually do not like doing these update videos, but this one right here needs to be done. And I kind of sat here and thought about whether I should actually do one or do it now or do it later, but I figure now is about as good a time as any. So, some things have happened here recently that have, let's just say, incentivized me to go ahead and go through with the brand new content, which if I hadn't said it before, I was looking to do earlier this year, and I was hoping to go ahead and start having that stuff out by spring. Well, guess what? It is April the 28th by the time you guys see this video, and that right there is what we're doing. Now, in case you guys have not noticed, and by the way, I would still appreciate if you guys still hit the like button, and of course, if you want to subscribe, please do so, because the only thing that's going to be changing as far as the content is concerned is how it's actually presented, and of course, some of the content, some of the material, but of course, the commentary will still be there. Think about this as an extension of what I've actually been doing, but of course I've been talking about creating other channels, and of course other channels, one of course would be focused on history, the other one of course, which is the Krusty Old Vet Gear Issue 33, my second channel, which is focused primarily on military film reviews. As a matter of fact, you guys will see a bit of that on Wednesday. As a matter of fact, you guys will actually be seeing a bit of that right there a lot over the next couple of months, because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing is also going to be going over there on Gear Issue 33 as well as a bit of a reboot. I will explain that here in a second. But of course, I wanted to do a bit of a movie channel where I did some commentary, and of course, that would also include some stories as well. You know, looking at certain stories, games, for example, like Metal Gear Solid 2, how prophetic it was, or as you guys will see here soon, a movie like, say, Full Metal Jacket, which of course has got some form of significance. A lot of people are a little bit confused of what the film was really and truly about. We'll take it from somebody who actually did do time in the military, stuff like that there. You guys will start to see some of that content here, especially over the next couple of months. Now, if you think that the daily videos are going to go away, well, let me just go ahead and put it this way here. I've been posting less and less for a multitude of reasons. Number one, I've been outside the house a lot more because it's spring, it's starting to warm up, and of course, my diagnosis from last year, especially given the fact that what was found in my right leg was a blood clot, that right there was, of course, well, it was diagnosed, and I've had a few surgeries since, but the one that's in the right leg where the problem originally started is obviously still there, and I've not been able to walk the way I want to up until right recently. So I got to get up and I got to move around a lot more outside of the house. So what's basically going to be happening is over the course of the spring and the summer, we're going to be slowly but surely transitioning into video essay style content, which is kind of what I meant by talking about films and certain movies and stuff. Now, granted, the format of it's just going to include many more, how do I say, B-roll footage. Of course, my voice giving commentary over the scene itself. And of course, I do understand that it could, in fact, result in more copyright claims. But don't worry, I've learned how to beat those. We should be fine on that. Now, as far as the direction of where we're going to be going as far as overall, that right there is something that I'll probably discuss at a later date, or I'll notify you guys when the other one is up. But I was originally going to turn this right into the history and crime mystery channel, but I've decided not to do that. There's also another thing that I need to do, which of course is very important, especially if you're going to be here on this platform, and that is to do more research. I have Audible, I have a lot of books, I have a lot of things to catch up on, and I'm normally busy throughout the day. So I've got to hit the weights, I've got to walk 3 times a day, which of course is going to require me to be outside the house at least an additional hour away from the actual media itself, even though my phone is on me. But still, though, I don't want to do everything through my phone from now on. And of course, to go on top of that, will also include some of the film work stuff, which of course requires me roughly 6-7 hours out of the day to actually do to get that type of stuff put together. And of course, it requires multiple days. Video essays take a lot of time to do, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks to do. Some cases, sometimes even a month, depending on how large they are. The point is that the change in style, the change in how this type of content is yet to be presented, and as far as the actual topics themselves, it is going to go ahead and start right now. As I said before, the goal was originally to get this right here done or started in the month of April. And of course, something has happened here recently that is outside the physical fitness, physical health side that I just mentioned. It's also the YouTube algorithm itself. For some odd reason, YouTube is not notifying you guys that the content is out there. So I thought about this and I was like, you know what, now would probably be the best time in the world to go ahead and go forward with what I was going to be doing. Now, I did say earlier that the first probably 8 would probably go here and on Gear Issue 33. I'm probably also going to create another channel to go along with that there. And of course, the idea basically is what I had said before about test videos. I know it took me a while to get to it, but if I'm going to test them anywhere, I want to test those videos here with you guys here on the platform to see if you guys actually like them. Some of these films, of course, will include stuff like, say, Fight Club or Clockwork Orange, just to see if it was actually prophetic, whatnot, just an exploration. Basically, like I said before, good old-fashioned video essays on films, movies, of course, you said films and movies both, but also stories as a whole. It's where I may even include some comics, and of course also gaming as well. Some topics, of course, include Metal Gear Solid and of course The Last of Us, two of my favorite franchises, or two of my favorite games, because the second Last of Us wasn't worth a damn. But still, the point is right here, we are in fact going in the much more pop culture direction, and that right there obviously starts now. As far as other stuff in the future, I'll notify you guys, like I always do, how that type of stuff is going to go going forward. So, hey, you guys know me. I don't leave you guys in the dark on stuff. I'll let you guys know. But this type of stuff does, in fact, start now. But, as I said, I alluded to earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and say it one more time. As far as daily content is concerned, daily videos are concerned, you're probably going to see one, let's say, more or less edited well video or attempted edited video. That's much better. My editing still needs some work, I'm not going to lie to you. That'll probably be the norm one day a week. But of course, the algorithm is beating me up, so normally you got to post more. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to keep posting more and more and more just for that reason, because after a while, you're just killing yourself to get content out there. And right now, YouTube probably got pissed off of me saying killing yourself to get more content out there, because obviously certain words trigger the algorithm. Basically, the video essay stuff allows me to do a little bit more research throughout the day. It allows me to get the hell away from the actual, let's just say, the monotony of the mainstream media. I just go through Twitter and I just kind of archive things, and I may come back to it a little bit later on. Also, to go on top of that, the culture war is really and truly, for some odd reason, it's turning me into a much more meaner, much more aggressive person, and I only feel right when I'm actually doing something outside being near the television screen, seeing what story. And there's something else too I want to kind of throw in, and I know I put this clip in here and I mentioned my health situation, but I want to go ahead and kind of expand on that just a little bit further. So, what I was originally diagnosed with was a blood clot in my right popliteal artery. It's the artery, if you don't know, it's the artery that's right there behind your knee. It's the one that I had surgery on earlier this year on my left side. And of course, also the two surgeries, you know, the two carotids, one was an emergency procedure, the other one was more of an elective procedure, but still, the point is this, where they had to get done. Doctors informed me, and I'll link this video right here from Duke University in the description box if you guys are interested in this type of stuff, just in case you guys ever know a family member that ever gets afflicted with peripheral artery disease. One of the ways that you combat this right here is by walking a lot more. Now, I alluded to my walking earlier and being outside the house. Well, I'm going to be outside the house a lot more, especially over the summer. And I really and truly want to get this bad boy bypassed, so that way I can kind of go back to doing some other things that I love as well. I enjoy posting here and putting stuff right here on YouTube, but still, though, at the same time, though, I also need to get up and walk around a lot more. I'm pretty sure if you have to deal with injuries, you can probably relate. Sometimes walking can be a pain in the ass. Sometimes you got to walk at least 70 to 80 feet to at least get it going, to get some blood in there. And then, of course, you got to stop and you got to let it recycle. My goal was to get somewhere between 10 to 12,000 steps a day outside my normal physical fitness regimen, so that way I can eventually get the artery to bypass on its own. It can be done, or has been suggested to me to do so, to at least try to do so. Last year when we found out everything, weather, all kinds of things kept me from achieving. And then also, to go on top of that, obviously surgeries, prepping for surgeries, going back and forth between here and the VA, all that type of stuff there. The point is this right here. I need to get away from the TV. I need to get away from the computer a lot more, and I would kind of like to go ahead and focus on the other stuff that I had promised you guys in the future, which of course included stories, what something was about, the meaning behind it, the commentary behind it, was it prophetic? That right there is basically what we're going to be doing going forward. Now, I alluded to this earlier, and you guys know me. I'll say it, and then I'll come right back to it a little bit later on out of the middle of nowhere. But I want to kind of address something really quick about channels, creating the network. I'm not going to be giving you guys information this moment in time like what the actual full-blown plan is, because obviously the plan always changes. But the idea is, of course, to go ahead and start on the stories here and still do the military movie reviews, which I'm now getting back into for Gear Issue 33, Krusty Old Vet. Of course, the first few videos, films, are going to be military-based. They'll also be on that channel as well. And there's probably even going to be a channel change name. What I'm thinking about doing is simply changing the name of this channel to the Krusty Old Millennial, or I may actually call it the Krusty Old Vet. I'm not entirely sure, still thinking about it, but of course you guys will be notified when it does in fact happen. And also, to go on top of that, at this moment in time when you're pretty much algorithmically dead like YouTube has done to me at this point in time, it's not exactly the worst idea in the world to do it. Now, as far as the history content is concerned, I'm probably going to wait till sometime in 2026. You're probably going to hear me bring this up a little bit later on the video if I've not already brought it up. Part of the reason why I'm doing it this way is so that way I can do a little bit more research and a little bit more reading, so that way the videos are actually better and much, much more informative. I don't want to come up here and talk about stuff without any actual receipts. Normally what I'll do is I'll talk about an issue, I'll play the clip, play what the hell was said, and of course I'll link the articles, the studies, and whatnot in the description box. Sometimes it's good enough, sometimes it's not good enough. Either way, at the same time, though, I feel like the content can actually be better. So for right now, we're just going to be focusing on here in Gear Issue 33, and sometime in 2026, we'll come up with a third place, and maybe we may even spread this right out much, much further. But that right there is basically what the hell is going on here, and I have to think about other stuff that's going on in my life personally that's allowing me to do that. Also, like I said before, it allows me to make better content for you guys, so that way you guys can actually properly enjoy it. I mean, I'm not even enjoying doing my own content right now. It's almost felt like I'm kind of mailing it in. And if you think I've been mailing it in, please say so. I'd like to hear your feedback. And that right there, for the most part, is kind of sort of what we're doing here. But also, like I said before, there is more. It is an updates video, and these things right can be a bit of a pain in the ass to do, because sometimes it's kind of hard to kind of get things out from your own personal side outside of the normal, let's just say the normal, more scripted content that I do, which of course is not really scripted. It's really just me reacting, but still. And speaking of that reactionary style content, well, let me go ahead and get to that. Of course, the clip that you guys are about to see was one that I had made before this one right here. But hey, like I said, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I need to improve on editing, but you guys will see that I have, in fact, improved on editing here over the course of the next few weeks with the new content. But now to the reactionary content and explaining what's probably going to happen there. Now, as far as reactionary content is concerned, I may revisit that another day, but it will not be here on the Claymore channel. It will probably be on one of those networks or channels I put on creating in the future, because like I said, I want to kind of create a bit of a network. That was the goal. And this right here is kind of the launching ground for all those other channels. Yes, I know it's a very, very small channel. It doesn't really get much play, and right now it's completely and totally shadow banned. But still, at the same time, though, as I've said before, if I'm going to test this content anywhere, like I said before, earlier in the year, test videos, I would give it to you guys here. Also, I'd want you guys, if possible, to actually rate these, and of course, do what you normally do. Please hit the like button, subscribe, all type of stuff there. Who knows? This right here may become the main channel for that type of stuff there. But these videos right here are going to be starting this month, or month of May. So go ahead and get ready to see some stuff that, quite frankly, you probably haven't seen out of me before. One last thing. There are still 2 more videos that I have planned for this week. One, of course, is going to be a woman's role, because I never got to that video on the weekend. I got the clips and everything, and I got everything written out, the key points that I need. But, of course, that video is probably going to get released on Tuesday. And, of course, my response video to Nicholas Irving's Vlad TV interview, where he basically sent for China, that rather will be out on Wednesday. As far as the daily content is concerned, you would still probably see videos come out from me on Thursday and Friday and maybe Saturday, but we're going to be transitioning into those video essays. So just give you guys a heads up that that right there is coming. With that right there being said, make sure you guys please hit the like button. Thank you guys for sticking around. I understand YouTube is not notifying people of the videos being released, but still though, thank you guys for sticking around. This video will be out tomorrow afternoon, probably early in the evening. I really truly appreciate it, but new stuff is coming. And of course, we're on our way to doing that, and I'll see you guys later.